It's rivalry week here as the USC football team gears up to take on UCLA.
We'll be live at Conquest to take a look at this historic battle for Los Angeles. See It Live starts now.
Both schools are preparing for Saturday's big rivalry game. We're live around USC at a few of the activities. Good evening, I'm Tiffany Brevard.
And I'm Tommy Brooksbank. Students are already filing in to McCarthy Quad for this year's Conquest Rally. Annenberg Media's Brad Stryker is live where the celebration is taking place. Brad?
All right, thanks Tommy. I am here in McCarthy Quad, and as you can see behind me, this year's Conquest event is already underway. So gates opened at about 5:15 p.m. Already some students are making their way in, taking advantage of some of the vending booths, as well as getting ready for some of the attractions tonight. Now, crews were setting up all throughout the day. We had people putting together the main stage. We had people again putting together those vending booths that you saw behind me, people putting lighting out, sound equipment, and of course, constructing the large wooden Bruin bear statue that will be burned later on tonight. Now, there's tons of activities and events going on, lots to look forward to. Of course, one of the main activities of the night, this stage behind me, holding the concert where headliners Aluna George and Majid Jordan are going to be performing for students. And of course, once again, we've got the Bruin Bear statue that will be burning at about 8 p.m. We're going to have the football team coming out, joining all the students, hosting a rally. So lots again that students are excited about tonight. And I'm here with two of those excited students now. They're going to join me on screen here. These are both freshmen, so this is going to be their first Conquest ever. So guys, tell me, are you excited about the things that are going to be going on tonight?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the bonfire especially. I don't know. I'm a bit of a pyromaniac, but I'd love to see some Bruins burn.
Great. And this is your first time obviously going to a Conquest event. What are some of your expectations for the night?
I'm definitely looking forward to the concert. I've heard a lot about it, and one of the people in my class said that usually the people who perform become famous the next year or something. So definitely interested in that. Also definitely interested in the food. I heard that there was a sushi Rito here, and I love those, so yeah.
And so far there are only a few people here tonight, but are you expecting school spirit to be pretty big?
Oh, absolutely. I think once we get closer to 8, I think it's going to get really big and really crazy, so looking forward to that.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. We are going to be back a little bit later in the broadcast talking, looking at again how many people have been filing in, but for now I'll go ahead and send it back to Tommy in the studio.
Thank you so much, Brad. The USC-UCLA rivalry has been going on for decades. The first ever Bruin Trojan football game took place in 1929 at the Coliseum. I had the opportunity to talk to a few students on campus, and let's just say they were very passionate and excited about this ongoing competition. Check it out.
I think it's our most important rivalry. I mean, crosstown, those guys think that they're pretty important, but I think that we all know that
SC runs LA.
SC runs LA. We're the big boys in town.
I think the USC-UCLA rivalry means kind of strangely a lot to me, especially since I've been kind of a USC fan since I was in kindergarten. So is my whole family. So particularly this game, since it's like crosstown rivalry, has always been very like amped up within my family and whatnot.
I also have a friend who's at UCLA from back home, and so it's kind of fun to like talk trash with her, especially because we won last year, and it sounds like they're not super confident about this year's game as well. So
I definitely care about it, partly for sports and partly just on a personal level. I know a lot of Bruins, and like, I don't like them too much.
Now the Trojans have had 45 victories against the Bruins. We've lost 31 games, and 7 games ended in a tie. No matter the venue, USC has the advantage. USC has won 10 and lost 7 games at the Rose Bowl, while at the Coliseum, the Trojans have had 38 victories and 21 losses. However, across all sports, UCLA has the most NCAA titles in the entire country, adding up to 113, and the Trojans are not too far behind with 102 titles. That's the 3rd best in the country.
One of the most important traditions to the USC-UCLA rivalry is, of course, the victory bell that's given to the winner of the football game each year. But where did the bell come from, and why is it so important to both schools? Let's break it down. The victory bell has been around since 1939. It was a gift from the UCLA Alumni Association to the school student body. As an act of rivalry, USC students decided to steal the bell. 6 members of the Trojan Knights infiltrated the UCLA student section during the football game between the two schools. They loaded the bell into a truck and drove it back to USC's campus to hide it. After several days, UCLA found out the bell was in Trojan possession. 3 years went by as the rivalry heightened between the schools when a compromise was made. Both student body presidents met and signed an agreement that the bell would become a trophy for the annual football game. And USC's student group responsible for holding onto the Victory Bell are the Trojan Knights. Along with the bell, the Knights stand guard in front of Tommy Trojan during rivalry week to stop UCLA invaders from messing with the statue. The Knights have been camping out since the beginning of the week, and Nikki Nikias showed some love with a few treats this morning. USC's First Lady brought the Knights baklava to get the group's energy started early in the day. The Knights are excited about their time leading up to the game.
We have a lot of room to mess around, pick up football. We like to play music and just generally have a really good time. It's kind of like a music festival minus the music.
It's a lot of fun. I liken it a lot to like a sleepover just with a bunch of close friends. We stay out here at all times. We always have to have a presence here, and it's a fun place to come when you're in between classes because you just come and hang out.
I'm physically exhausted. I think my soul died the other day, but we're powering through. We're almost there. I want to see this win. We're getting this dub.
The Knights will be on Tommy's side through the end of Saturday night's game. And the Victory Bell and crosstown bragging rights are on the line Saturday night, but those aren't the only things. Max Goldwasser is with me now to explain what else is up for grabs. Thanks for joining me, Max. What's the Pac12 South looking like?
Yeah, so it's interesting. The last game of the day on Saturday is going to be that USC-UCLA game, so we could know by then whether or not USC controls its own destiny. Most importantly, they're going to have to beat UCLA. That is the one thing that they can control. Then you look down here, Colorado and Utah are going to have to lose one of their last two games. If they both lose this weekend and USC wins the Pac12 South. If both of these teams win this weekend, doesn't really matter what USC does. They are automatically eliminated from contention.
Right, so those are two games that are definitely to watch this weekend as well, right?
Yeah, especially a game to watch this weekend is going to be when Washington State takes on Colorado in Colorado. The Buffs, they're a good team, especially at home, but Washington State is coming in as undefeated in the Pac-12. They're second in points per game and yards per game put up. So if Washington State beats the Buffs will, that's one of their losses. Then the Buffs could come back and beat Utah the next week after. That would take care of one loss for each team. USC beats UCLA, they're in.
Right, so UCLA is still a great team. What do we have to do to make sure we beat them this weekend?
Yeah, they're a good team, and I think it all comes down to the run game. USC kind of abandoned that a little bit against Washington, even though they were still obviously very successful. They were averaging 258 rushing yards per game under Darnold starts coming into that game, only put up 113 rushing yards in that one. So got to feed Rojo the ball. I mean, the guy has 6 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He's an absolute beast. And if you can't get him the ball, there's a lot of other running backs on that committee you can work with. Hopping over to the other side of the ball, still talking about the run game. UCLA's run game hasn't been very good. Only 2 games of over 100 rushing yards in their last 8. Someone else who can keep that storyline the same is going to be Porter Gustin. He has 2 sacks. He had 2 sacks in his last game against Washington, only 4 on the season. So that was a big game from him there. If he brings the same fire, then I think USC will be successful this weekend.
Definitely going to be a big game. Do you have a score prediction for us?
I do. I'm going to say it's going to be a 41-17 victory for the Trojans. Blowout. They'll give up 1 or 2 touchdowns, maybe a field goal here and there, but they're going to take care of business.
I hope you're right, Max. Thanks.
Of course.
Big games mean a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is coming off of the biggest win of his career, but knows he must stay focused to win his first rivalry game. He spoke with Sports Scene about his emotions heading into the game.
It's not going to be hard to overlook. I mean, it's not going to be not hard to overlook them, I guess you could say. They're a great team. It's a huge rivalry game, and we're really looking forward to it. And the fans are always getting ready for it, and I just saw them outside. They're ready to go, and it's just going to be really fun. It's going to be fun preparing for them as always, and we're really looking forward to it.
Darnold and the Trojans don't appear to be taking the Bruins lightly, and rightly so. Without a win on Saturday, USC will be eliminated from the race in the Pac12 South.
No doubt UCLA students are also gearing up for the crosstown showdown. We talked with one student who gave us the lowdown on how Westwood is preparing.
Bruin Walk is where our main street or avenue of walking is filled with a bunch of people handing out flyers and different events for Beat SU Week. There are comedy shows, there's a big blood drive, And of course, there's the big rally tonight where we're going to have a huge bonfire, and it's a big unifying communal event that everyone's kind of looking forward to attend. If I wore red on campus, probably I would say maybe 3 tomatoes thrown at me. After tonight, I'm really going to be able to feel rivalry week to a different extent than how I feel about it now.
The Bruins are having a bonfire of their own tonight, hosting the Beat SC rally in the middle of campus. Saturday's game at the Rose Bowl starts at 7:30, and you can bet there will be traffic. But don't worry, we have you covered when it comes to directions to Rose Bowl and some options for getting to the Pasadena Stadium. For those who plan to go by car from campus, you'll want to take the 110 north to the 5 freeway north, get on the 2 freeway north, and then the 210 east. You can take any of these exits, Berkshire, Arroyo, Windsor, or Lincoln Avenue, Washington Boulevard. Once you get off the freeway, just follow the signs for the Rose Bowl parking lots. If you don't have a car, you can take public transportation. The Metro Gold Line goes from downtown LA to the Memorial Stadium station in Pasadena. Follow the signs to take the Rose Bowl shuttle. Another option, of course, is to get an Uber. That will cost you about $36 from campus. Concerts have been rocking for a while now, and the bonfire is getting ready to start in just a little bit.
Let's go back to Brad Stryker, who's live at Conquest. Brad?
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm out here once again in McCarthy Quad where the USC Conquest event is picking up speed. We've got more and more people filing in by the minute. But I did want to give you guys a quick look at this Bruin bear statue that you can see behind me. They've got tons of wood that they've been putting out all day long, crews working by the hour, really trying to construct this massive structure behind me. Now in a little bit, about 8 p.m., we're going to have the USC football team, the Trojan marching band, all out here having a major pep rally, lighting this statue up behind me on fire in one major bonfire for USC students to enjoy. Until that time, though, there are tons of great events out here. Again, we've got major concert that's happening. We've got tons of different vendors, even some food trucks. I had my eye on a sushi burrito a little bit earlier, so I'm going to be taking advantage of that, but hoping to see some of you guys out here tonight. For now, though, live in McCarthy Quad, Brad Stryker, Annenberg Media.
Thanks, Brad. And we actually have breaking news from the USC Greek row.
Our Rachel Fran and Cole Sullivan are live on the row. Guys?
Hey, we're here outside Gamma Epsilon Omega at the end of 28th Street, and if you can hear me okay, it's a very somber atmosphere out here. We've just heard from DPS that a student has died inside the Gamma Epsilon Omega fraternity here behind me. Rachel Frayne joins me now. She's from Annenberg TV News, and Rachel's been here for a while. I'm going to pass the mic to you, Rachel. Rachel, what have you seen here today?
So I've been here probably about an hour. There was an ambulance here, and there was no body that left in the ambulance. There's been a lot of detectives going in and out of the house. I was actually in my friend's apartment in row house, and there were 2 kids holding each other, like crying hysterically. And there's just been a really somber feeling, like really eerie. There's been a lot of people out here watching, but really no noise. Everyone's been weirdly silent for a Thursday night.
For a Thursday night.
Yeah.
For a Thursday night on the row especially, and it's been a very, very quiet atmosphere out here because of that really sad news. You can see we've seen LAPD and DPS officers and detectives walking in and out of the Gamma Epsilon Omega house behind me, where we've just confirmed again that a student has died inside the Gamma Epsilon Omega house. And I think, Rachel, one of the things that you underscored is the atmosphere here. This whole section of 28th Street is closed. I have never seen it as quiet, as somber as it is right now, especially for a Thursday night, especially for Conquest on a Thursday night. Some really very sad, very shocking and disturbing news. We'll continue to follow it for you. Here outside on 28th Street, outside Gamma Epsilon Omega, I'm Cole Sullivan with Rachel Frayne for Annenberg Media.
All right. Thanks, Cole. Pretty sad news coming out of the row. I know the story's still developing, so we'll definitely have updates as we find out more information about the
definitely
story.
Our prayers and thoughts go out to the students and the fraternity over there. Thank you so much for watching See It Live. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Tiffany Brevard.
And I'm Tommy Brooksbank. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Stay tuned for The Current.